Hi everyone, and welcome to another session of Techtivities. I'm Kaylee Lehrer, and today I'm going to be showing you a really great activity that you can do with your students. We're going to be taking a look at how to engineer an obstacle course. All right, so first up, we're going to take a look at our objectives. So starting off right away, students will complete the engineering design process in order to create their obstacle course. Now, I'm going to provide you with some really great resources to help you get started with this, but students are going to be going through the entire process from designing their obstacle course to testing it out. Next, students will create artful expressions. So not only are they going to be testing out their obstacle course, but they're actually going to be designing it using household objects, art materials, backyard objects, and anything that they might have in order to create a really amazing obstacle course. Next, students will collaborate with peers to share and reflect on their designs. Today, we're going to be focusing on Google Classroom. Students will be able to use Google Classroom in order to collaborate. They will be able to respond to one another's activities and their assignments, and I'm going to show you how to get started with that. In addition, students will engage in physical activity to test their designs. So once their designs have been created, they're actually going to put them to the test, and they can get outside or inside depending on their space and test out what they've created. Moving along, taking a look at our standards, I've listed out a few NGSS standards that this activity aligns to. So first up, define a simple design problem reflecting a need or want. So with this, students are going to be designing an obstacle course. That's their challenge, and that's the problem that they are tasked with. How can they create an obstacle course using household materials? Next, generate and compare multiple possible solutions to a problem. So they're going to be engaging with one another in order to determine their solutions and figure out, did their solutions work? Were they able to define and design an effective obstacle course? Next, plan and carry out fair tests. So once again, students are going to be testing out their obstacle course to see if it meets their needs. Moving along to materials needed. So like I said, Google Classroom is going to be at our focus for today. Students are going to be interacting with one another, and assignments are going to be posted on Google Classroom. On Google Classroom, you're going to be able to provide your students with the following. So an example, pictures of obstacle courses. I'm going to show you a few examples shortly, but here's where you can provide pictures of obstacle courses that have been created by previous students, maybe by you, or simply pictures off the internet. In addition, I will post an engineering design process example to give students a better look at that. An engineering and obstacle course PDF, which I have also attached to the resources to get you started right away with this lesson. Another PDF, outdoor and household items. So here, this PDF is going to give your students some ideas for objects that they can use. And of course, those items will eventually be used for the creation of obstacle courses. Finally, the last PDF is an online discussion PDF. Great, so here's the procedure for how this lesson will go. It's really simple and ready to be pushed out to your students right away. So we're going to start by posting an assignment to Google Classroom in our classwork tab. From here, we're going to create an obstacle course at home using the engineering design process. That's our lesson for our students. From here also, I will include those sample PDFs. Next, we're going to provide our students with a due date for answering the questions and for completing the assignment to keep them on track. Next up, sharing videos and pictures, like I mentioned, of the obstacle course, or even blueprint designs on Google Classroom. So now this is where students will be able to share what they have done. And finally, provide clear instructions that students must comment or respond to at least 2 other students' answers. This is going to hold them accountable for commenting and collaborating with one another. So here we have a few sample obstacle courses in these pictures. So just to give students some ideas, again, you can always provide some additional ideas of ones that you have created or other students have created. So this would be a great thing to post on your Google Classroom. And finally, our extension activity. Once students are done with this entire process, you can task students with the challenge of maybe creating a video game that has come to life. Ask them how can they incorporate video game elements into the obstacle course that they have designed. Really great way to get students engaged once they've created their initial obstacle course. A second idea is challenge students to tell a story with their obstacle course. This is where they can record themselves telling a story or write it out on a paper or even digitally and share it with Google Classroom. So now what I'm going to show you is my Google Classroom page. So this is what it's going to look like for you as the teacher, and you're going to hit that Create button. From here, you can provide your students with assignments, quiz, questions, or materials. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Create, and I'm going to post an assignment. So this is what it's going to prompt me to do, and I'm going to write engineering an obstacle course. From here, I'm going to add some attachments. So I do have the attachments on my computer, and I'm just going to go from my device and add some of those attachments. So I have my materials, my online discussion, and my engineering and obstacle course document. Those are all going to be uploaded. Once I select upload, these are ready to go. Of course, you might want to provide your students with more directions here, such as use these documents to assist with your obstacle course creation. Then I'm going to assign it. Of course, you can always change those settings on who you want to assign it to, but now it is posted on my classroom. Here's where we're going to see some of those additional documents, such as outdoor household materials. And again, these have all been attached for you to use. Online discussion for Google Classroom, some tips and tricks. And finally, our engineering and obstacle course PDF, which is ready for you to push out to your students, some space for them to create their design, jot down some ideas, their purpose for creating, and even just some additional ideas to get them thinking. I've also provided some more pictures and some engineering design process examples. So I hope you learned a little bit more about how to create this activity for your students' engineering and obstacle course. Remember, if you have any questions, we are here to help. Be sure to check out those resources in addition to our Otis course, which is going to teach you all about Google Classroom and how to use it. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and stay safe.